What's going on, guys? My name is Lincolnite, and today we're going to be looking at whether or not the Z125 makes a good starter bike. So this video actually comes from a comment that I got from good old Sid C. I gotta give him a shout out real quick. He has been a huge supporter of this channel. He's always leaving me comments and stuff, and he left a comment asking whether or not I thought the Z125 would make a good starter bike. So today, that is the topic we are going to be tackling. So within probably the last few years or so, once Honda came out with the Grom, a lot of other companies have been making these mini bike style motorcycles. You got the Honda Grom, you got the Honda Monkey, Kawasaki Z125. Those are probably the three big ones. But then you've also got some kind of smaller companies that are making other ones. So you got like SSR makes one. My girlfriend has a Lafon KP Mini 150. You got the Tao Tao Hellcat. Oh fuck, what other ones are there? I know there's a lot of them though. But so yeah, you've got a lot of different companies that are making these mini bike style motorcycles, and a lot of people are getting them as first bikes because, you know, they're smaller bikes. They don't have big engines. Oh, that's a lot of gravel. Oh, I'm about to get a lot of dirty looks. So you got a lot of people that are getting these bikes as first motorcycles because they're small, they're lightweight, they don't have big engines, so you don't have to worry about having too much power. But oddly enough, that's actually kind of why I believe they are not good starter bikes. Here is why. So people who want to first get into motorcycles, you know, I'm sure a lot of people do research similar to I did when I was first looking at getting into bikes. And you always see a lot of people that say you want to start on a smaller bike. And that is true. You do want to start on a smaller bike. I am a firm believer in that. You know, you don't want to immediately start out on a 1000cc Super Sport. You know, that's going to be way too much power for somebody who doesn't know what they're doing to handle. But so people will see this and they'll be like, oh, well, that's really cute. It's a small bike. As I already said, it's a small bike. It doesn't have a big engine. So automatically that means it's a perfect starter bike. The only thing is you do want something. And what I mean by that is you want a bike that actually has a little bit of weight to it and does have some power to it, because that will actually benefit you when it comes to actually riding in traffic. So with this bike being a very, very small bike, it doesn't weigh all that much. It literally you will feel anything and everything. And what I mean by that is the fact that this bike, any shift in weight will immediately turn it. Like I'll real quick just shift my weight to the left, and you can see it just automatically goes to the left. And for instance, you can see little lines in the concrete here. It will grab the tire and it will literally move the bike anywhere. Like I barely even wobble the handlebars, and this thing just goes everywhere. So this bike will be affected by everything. The littlest gust of wind will blow you all over the place. The littlest shift in weight, the littlest shift in the handlebars, it will cause the bike to move a lot. Whereas you ride any sort of a bigger bike that has more weight to it, you can do those sorts of things and it's not going to move it. For instance, I have a GSXR-600, and going from this thing to that thing, it feels like, I'm kind of exaggerating here, it feels like the bike doesn't want to move. The GSXR, it feels like it doesn't want to move. Like you actually have to kind of move the handlebars. You have to push them to get the bike to turn. And so, you know, if you're a beginning rider and you panic, oh god, there's a crack in the road, and you move those handlebars. See, I honestly almost lost control doing that. You move those handlebars, that bike is going to move fast because there's no weight to it, and the center of gravity on it is kind of in a weird spot. So because it is a lighter weight bike, it's a smaller bike, the bike is going to move a lot easier. And that is kind of a bad thing. It doesn't sound like it would be a bad thing to have a bike that just wants to move, but if you're not careful with what you do on that bike, you're gonna lose control of it pretty quick. And it seems stupid that such a tiny bike is something you would lose control of, But honestly, to an like, it feels like you could. Second thing, it's a small motor. It doesn't have power. You kind of need power. You really do. I'll give you a demonstration here. I'm trying to think of the best place to do it because we're kind of in a neighborhood and that's all highways up over there. We might just flip around somewhere real quick. We're gonna turn left here. So, you know, 35 miles, this, I guess just to tell you guys, Z125s and the 2022 and lower, or the 2021 and lower Groms are all a 4-speed transmission. Most motorcycles actually have 6 gears. But so right now I'm doing 40 miles an hour, which is a pretty average speed for most cities. I'm gonna go full throttle and watch how long it takes to gain any speed. Full throttle. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. We just now hit 50 miles an hour. That was full throttle, kind of tucked too. You know, you look at that and you may think, oh cool, it doesn't have a lot of power, I'm not gonna do stupid stuff on it, and I will never get a speeding ticket ever. Only problem with that is, what if you have to accelerate fast? What if all of a sudden, like, I'm right next to some dude who's merging and I quick need to give it throttle to get in front of them? You can't do that now. So that's kind of where the problem of it not having a lot of power comes into play. What if you need that power? Now I gotta flip a U-turn in this bitch. So yeah, I mean, it's nice and easy to do stuff like that, but like again, right now, 3rd gear floored, barely climbing. And actually, when you hit like 50 miles an hour floored, sometimes it'll go from like 52 to 51. Yeah, right now I have it floored. Look at how slow that speedometer is climbing. Now, I'm not saying this stuff to really bash on these motorcycles and say that they're absolutely pointless. Like, trust me, I fucking love this bike. I ride it all the time. But I don't ever see it being a bike that you could have as your only bike, you know? Like, this is just like a thing, like if you and your friends have them, like it'd be so much fun to ride around in a group of them, you know? Or like if you just have like a small little ride to work and you don't want to have to pull your Yamaha R1 out of the garage to drive 2 miles, you know? It's a great bike for that. I'm not saying these bikes suck by any means, but I will say, if you can get another bike as your first bike, I do suggest it. I have always been a huge, firm believer in 300s as a first bike. I had a CBR 300 as my first bike, and if you are a long-term subscriber, or, you know, even if you're new to the channel, watch some of my other videos. I absolutely praise that bike as a first bike. It was great. If I could have kept that bike and got my GSXR-600, I would have. And everybody here on this channel knows I say that a lot because I still believe in it. 300s are good bikes. Don't let people tell you otherwise. They are not shit bikes. They are not boring by any means. They have power to have fun on. Now, I will say I am being slightly hypocritical when I say don't get one of these bikes as the first bike, because as I said, my girlfriend has a Lafon KP Mini 150. That is her first bike. The reason she got that bike, though, is she is shorter. Like my GSXR, it's lowered. Like, I have no problem like flat footing with a bend in my knees on that bike. She can't flat foot. She tiptoes that bike. So the reason that she went with that bike is because it pretty much was her only option for a bike that she could feel comfortable on. We're gonna look so stupid going completely around this roundabout. The other thing, though, is she also doesn't really ride alone. Like, she doesn't take that bike to work. The only time she ever rides that is if her and I are both going somewhere. So I'm always with her when she is on that bike. There's only been a handful of times that she has rode on her own, just through like neighborhoods and stuff. I wonder... Oh, that looks fun, dude. We're gonna go through here. We're just kind of exploring right now. I haven't really been over in this area before. So like I said, though, I mean, these bikes do not suck by any means. It's about $3 to fill it up, and that'll get me over a week's worth of riding. So I mean, you know, they are fun bikes, they are great bikes. I just don't think people should get them as their first bike, with the sole reason being that they are small and lightweight and they don't have power, because really those can cause problems, as I showed you guys. Oh my god, for a brand new road, that's a big bump. But I think I'll go ahead and wrap up this video. I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. If you guys have any questions about these bikes or anything, or if you have any questions really about motorcycles in general, leave it in the comments and I will respond to it. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel while you're at it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.